following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. And got a few technical issues here. We're having some thunderstorms, and I don't know exactly why that is affecting our internet at the moment, but it certainly is. So we'll try to, maybe it'll clean up here by the time we get into the meat of the program. In the meantime, we always like to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
We do. Market is just slightly higher, 2.5 points on the S&P cash. As you know, I don't spend a lot of time on the Dow or the NASDAQ because they are so incredibly off-weighted. It is like asking one person who's going to be the next president and then saying that's a great poll that's indicative of what's going to happen. NASDAQ just too overly weighted. S&P 500 stocks, it's overweighted too, but much better. In fact, you can look at the, what is it, the RSX, which is the equally weighted S&P 500, which I like looking at. But for the most part, it's all about smoke and mirrors with the indexes. I've been looking at almost only individual stocks inside the S&P, inside the NASDAQ to try to figure out what's been going on lately. And, of course, a whole lot of nothing. Like I said, up 3 points on the S&P cash. Volume 2.27 billion shares. It is certainly all about picking stocks these days. The market is in the let's hurry up and wait mode for something. No more Fed, no more nothing. What are we waiting on? I was promised a huge rally today. But 3 points. What can you say? As I said, I was being facetious when I said I was promised a big rally today. It's just that maybe markets are done going down. Doesn't mean they have to go up. Markets at highs, maybe at highs, but doesn't mean that if they're not going higher, it does not include also going lower. It may just be going sideways. And we've got a lot of these doldrums that we saw a month ago, or actually before the British exit, that are kind of just coming back in this area. Everything is rotation. Everything is 2 or 3 or 4 days worth of earnings, rumors of buyouts, actual buyouts that maybe will never come, real buyouts. It is a game for fast fingers, and I guess we'll have to start playing that game a little bit more. NASDAQ's up 11, but again, like I said, then that's pretty much in it. You can look at about 1.75 to 1 from the S&P to the NASDAQ, and about 10 to 1 from the S&P to the Dow on a rough basis. But man, these things are, if you try to run any statistics on them, they're pretty heavily skewed almost on a daily basis. So you have to look a little closer. The only thing I saw this morning were, and I put it in my newsletter, were a couple of energy stocks that said maybe that was it. Saw them testing the previous lows with about 20% volume, and thought, well, maybe something's going on in there. And we've got a few of them coming out after the bell tonight in earnings. We'll talk about that. In the meantime, we got to get this party started.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is nothing but history repeating. In this day in 1811, Alicia Graves Otis. When I saw Otis, all I could ever think about before I knew who he was the drunk. in Mayberry, RFD, and there's a street here in Tampa called, I always call it Mayberry, but it's not. But it's close to it. Everybody knows that street. But all I can think of is Mayberry. Elisha Graves Otis is born on a farm outside Halifax, Vermont. He goes on to invent the elevator brake, making skyscrapers practical. Otis demonstrates his innovation at the Crystal Palace Exposition in New York in 1854 when he rides an elevator several dozen feet into the air, and then an assistant chops the hoisting cable with an axe, and the elevator does not fall. In those days, they actually had horses that would drag you to the top. It wasn't even electric motors in these high rises, and kind of interesting stuff. But yeah, they didn't even use wire rope back in those days. They used real rope. I don't think I think a lot of people that are still worried about elevators, I think all that from the late 1800s still carries on. But when you see his little name down there, it's not the drunk asleep in Mayberry jail. It actually was a guy. But man, that Otis, what an actor. He was always so great. After the bell tonight, we've got Abel Marley Corporation. Someone will actually pronounce that correct one day, and I'll be able to figure out exactly what that is. I've heard 5 different pronunciations, so mine's just as good as anybody else's. AVG Technologies, of course, the security company. Denny's, Easy Corp, First Solar, Herbalife, Jack in the Box, Papa Murphy's, already having a good day in pizza. Sequinome, the penny stock that goes from heaven to hell on a regular basis. Transoceanic, that was one of the stocks I was looking at yesterday that had actually tested its previous low on about 20% of the volume. And Western Union. I've got to get those horses out there going across the West yet again. And FireEye, I guess, is also out there. Not on my list for some reason. We'll find out why. What else is going on out here? Last night, I had a lot of people ask me. Yes, I put the Win 10 anniversary update on all my machines, tested it out, tested everything. Everything looked and worked wonderfully. So we will see how that continues to go. But every program I tested literally everything on my machine last night. I put it on all 5 machines. All 5 machines worked perfectly. So kind of tough to see what's going on out here. What else do we have going on? It is a mad market. What do we have left for this segment here? We got about 52 seconds. Just one note. Some people have asked me, what do I think is going to happen if one candidate or another becomes president? I can't tell you exactly, but I can give you a giant hint. I saw numbers today, and for one candidate who will remain nameless, he got $19,000 to this time until the 1st of August from hedge funds. The other candidate has gotten $48 million. So if you're wondering what's going to happen on Wall Street, one way, probably something. One other way, probably not much. We'll come back after this short break.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we'll go along. Someone posted something in the den, and I don't want to be smart or snippy about it, but I have almost like a force field around me when someone brings up any statistical fact. And that is, it may be, all the data may be exactly as everybody always states it to be, but statistics are pretty sticky things. I had someone tell me that for the last year, something happened in the stock market. And I said, well, that's good. But how does that deal with the last 10 years or 15 years or 40 years or 50 years? And how many samples would I have to have something to be literally statistically significant? And that's the real big thing. They bring that up every day after the Super Bowl, and the AFC or the NFC wins or something, and that's supposed to mean something. And the problem is you figure out that you would need to have about 300 years or 400 years worth of football players playing a game to actually have any correlation, much less have any causation. And there could be all kinds of causation. There could be all kinds of correlation. But you've got to have a big enough sample size to actually figure all that stuff out. And normally, when I hear anything, the first thing I do is put up my big shields and say, well, if I'm going to believe that, I'm going to have to go back and figure out what would actually signal something significant and what would signal just random noise. Is there cause and is there causation? Not an easy subject to broach. Doesn't mean that anybody is right or wrong. Just means that we haven't proved it yet. And I have to, as I say in my newsletter many times, I have to go out and test everything I use. Doesn't matter what and who it is, how much I love them, that I always have to go back and look. Yes, I am a skeptic. Not a cynic, but a skeptic. Let's go through some stocks that have earnings out here today fairly quickly. AIG. But I am a follow the money fan. I can pretty much see if all the money's in one spot and not in the other, who's going to be a friend and who's going to be a foe in the future. AIG. What do we have out here? Nice move, and that is AIG. Not a whole lot happening. Is that today? Oh, it's from yesterday. Let's go ahead and look at today. Nice move from American International Group, AIG. Lots of volume. We're right back up to the top. A lot of these stocks are doing it. They're gapping right up to previous highs. $58.59, 10 million shares if we go back to May 31st. And if that's 11 million shares today, certainly is everything that you want it to be. And that is, more volume. Can you hold that high? Will it breach that 58.59? Kind of hard to say. A lot of people short going into earnings on a lot of these stocks and seem like they've got some issues, but I'm going to have to watch this one over the next few days. You've got actually three gaps in this one. I wouldn't call it a three-gap play. The gap up on the 8th of this month is probably a little bit less than we looked at, but that can be it. What else is going on up here? Okay. Just trying to catch up on a few things here. What else do we have? I'm just looking at some of these companies that have actually moved. Auto Home, ATHM, had a nice bounce up today. It's up 3%. I don't know if you can make a great deal out of this one, kind of going sideways. I saw this one the other day in my scans, and that is you gap down on the 24th of June, came into this with actually higher volume on the 28th. Little pop-up today, but so far not much volume out here. A lot of these stocks on earnings may be up a little bit, but don't actually show me a great deal out here. CALD. Now this one, of course, gets the loser horn for the day. No, I'm not talking about a big fat lie. I'm talking about the loser horn, but I clicked on the wrong button. Caldus Software, nice bounce down, plenty of volume, everything you want. Maybe not as big a candle as you would like. Certainly has the volume go down to the $15.52 low. That's from May 4th. When we look at the rest, Chewy's Holdings. This was one of those IPOs that came out on the back of CMG. Not a whole lot out here. It actually opened a little lower, moved a little better. But these real estate stocks, or not real estate stocks, the restaurant stocks have, on the chains, have not been doing well. I know we have it started kind of with McDonald's, but Chewy's kind of looking to pick up the mantle from CMG, just never really has caught fire. Clorox is up 1%. I'm not going to bother with that. Talk about a haircut. Probably should have gotten the loser horn for this one. Was Cray. We talked about this one coming out for earnings. And this goes back quite a ways. You can see this stock kind of trades like a heartbeat. One of the reasons why we've talked about this is the big customers for their computers and their supercomputers tend to be governments and scientifics and colleges and that kind of stuff. And that business tends to be extremely lumpy. It's all feast or famine in here. Of course, this came in, they had a tough time. This is the second big gap down. I can expect probably one more before this thing settles into a bottom. But like I said, it's feast or famine in this business. When things are going well, things just go higher. When things are going bad, it just seems like they can't get any worse. Crocs, what a name for a company. And of course, my favorite video on YouTube's, just Google Crocs, turtle, and YouTube. Down on heavy volume today, but maybe not enough. It's going to come close here. The nice gap up on May 10th had 10 million shares. We got about 6 million shares so far. Kind of went back into this gap, and that was it. But retail stocks, restaurants continue to show problematic. CYH up a little bit. CYH. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Community health up a little bit better. Did test its previous low so far on heavier volume. Didn't look so good this morning when it opened up. Probably feeling a little bit better out here today. We'll go through the rest of these earnings before the end of the day. We're up a whole $1.59 on the S&P cash. Volume is 2.4 billion shares.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Anyway, community health systems, just didn't see a lot going on in there. Now we're back to flat on the day, 2.4 million shares. Someone said something earlier today to me, and I said, yeah, I'm just not expecting a whole lot I'd like to work on my tan. Unfortunately, decided to rain here today. Sometimes there's just not a great deal out there. I know I was looking to see how these stocks in the market reacted to better crude numbers. Doesn't seem like it's done a whole lot for it. We had kind of a little attempt at the beginning. I'm not saying that we're either going up or down, but it's very tough to see that we've got any kind of wind behind our back, either up or down right now. And it continues to be a stock picking market. Okay, what else do we have for stocks moving out here today? Coach is down a little bit, but that wasn't the big deal. The people in handbags that really moved was Kate. And I've never heard of this company before. Apparently, everybody else has. I was unfamiliar with it. Kate Spade. Maybe they're new, maybe they're not. Maybe somebody knows something in the den about this company. Down on monster volume. It hasn't blown through the January 20th low at $15.10 yet. 3.8 million shares. We got 20 million shares already. So you can pretty much assume that those lows will be broken. I mean, this thing had a nice move from January 8th up to April 28th and it's done nothing but go down since. And of course, you had the next big gap down. A lot of these that are in the down moves look like they could always have one more. You could make an argument that this is the last of the three gap plays, the first one being at 32, the second one being at 24, and the last one being today because of just the absolute size, magnitude, and volume in it. So far, the volume wasn't all that exciting until today, but pretty ugly chart out there. And of course, you blow apart like this and you get this much volume. A lot of times, this is a selling climax. But I still suspect that 1510 is going to get tested from January 20th. You already have the volume already in those candles. Maybe this thing can get down to $10. All these companies that are about retail purses and stuff, aren't people so fickle, especially women buying bags? Isn't it another one of those things where they're hot for a few years and then not? Yeah. I'll have to find out more about those bags. I'm talking about the company. Crocs, Tableau, another one on the loser horn today. Big data continues to have some issues. Don't know what you can say about it other than now it's down 6%. Did exactly what it should have done, which is come back, try to fill this gap up around $57 and then gap down on some volume. You still have a high volume low at $36.60. That is from the February 9th low. I've been hoping this company would come back on a light volume retrace. It's in the right sector. I just need to get the right price, and a big gap down with all this volume back on February 9th. You kind of have to figure that you got about an 85% chance of that thing getting tested. And probably going to be tested on lighter volume when it gets down there, right? So keep that one on the radar. On the upside is DDD. We were long this in the Tech Insider. I didn't want to hold it through earnings or any significant pullback. Nice day today, up 20%. Doesn't really change anything in the charts yet, just going back to this gap down on the 18th. Certainly doing it with a lot more volume. Not a bad looking chart out here. Need probably to get a little bit more juice off of it. The numbers weren't that great. This stock tends to be short fairly heavily, and it might just be a little bit of a short squeeze when it couldn't go down today. Dragon Wave, DRWI. This is the text-to-speech company, off 13%. I don't know if you can, if I can actually type the right symbol. DRWI. It just looks like it's going back down to the lows. I know that a lot of people got involved in this at one time. It was a hot stock. but everybody and their dog's doing text to speech anymore, and it seems to be kind of hard to get too many people on board on this one. Actually, chart doesn't look all that bad, but of course it is a chart without much volume for most days out there. Electronic Arts up just a tiny bit. I was hoping to see a little bit more out of this company since it's hanging out here at these highs. You gapped up last time with some juice on May 11th. You've got nowhere close to that kind of energy out here today. Of course, this tends to be a company that is back-end loaded, i.e. when weather gets bad up north, kids buy a lot of video games to play when it's snowy outside. And of course, most of the big games come on for Christmas so parents can buy them. Real unclear. I read the transcript of the earnings report. They really don't have a lot of a clue to what they're going to be pushing out for this fall. Normally, there is a conference called E3 that is the big game conference, and I think that comes up here shortly. At that point, maybe Electronic Arts, if they have some good titles that look like they're going to do big, may even continue up and higher. It seems rather lofty at these times because, of course, you always have to have yet the next big hit in the pipeline, and look for this probably to move more at that E3 conference coming up shortly. Energizer Holdings, I guess not buying enough batteries here. This thing's off 3%, 3.5% today at 49.14. You know, you had a nice spike out here on July 5th. This thing's been in a nice range. What you don't want this thing to do kind of is close below this 3x3 again. It popped up. That's kind of exactly what you're looking for. A close below today would suggest that would go back to where this thing started, and that would take you back to about $42. What is that? The high of the day, there, $43.28. So figure out that would probably be the move back here on kind of an ugly but useful double repo pattern. You know, that's what, $50 or $53 back to 43. What is that? 43.28. Probably not that big a deal, but it looks like it's in a bigger trading pattern out here now. What else do we have? Energizer Holdings, Etsy, kind of a failed IPO at one time, maybe getting a little bit better. ETSY. We'll go to break. We'll come back after this.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
We'll get to Etsy in just a second, but I did want to bring up a good point. Someone brought it up in the den, and they said, well, what's going on with the VIX here? And I said, historically, it is pricing in just about a zero chance of lower prices. And someone said, well, bummer, because we could have made money on the VIX going up, I guess, is the implication. But at the same side, if you are doing individual stocks now, the downside puts on them are just cheap. If you're not going into earnings, you can buy the downside very cheaply. And one of the gentlemen that I learned a great deal for in trading options would do this, and he did it all the time. He would take the positions that I liked. This is 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I think it was over. I think he actually got a job. He was a former pit option trader. And when I think it was 2000, I met him in 2002 or 3. And anyway, he saw a lot of my picks, and I was back then just buying lows on light volume so that they were looking good. But what he would do is buy an option and this play the other side of the stock all day long because options were so cheap. It had to be 2003 because the lows had just come in. And that March low, 2003. And he would just buy options and literally short and long the positions all day long, taking a quarter, a dime, 50 cents. And he always had downside protection. He never could lose more than, a quarter or 50 cents. And the market's probably a lot more volatile intraday. Now the markets are a lot more flat. But he could eke out, on a $20, $30 stock, he could eke out $2.50 a day going back and forth, and he would sell the option at the end of the day, and he'd start the whole thing back over. But he started with some of the stocks that I loved, i.e. stocks that were testing previous lows on ridiculous volume, and go back and forth. And this is one of the markets he would have loved. In fact, I'll call him tonight and ask him about it because that's what he would do. He'd just sit there and day trade the underlying of whatever he bought the put on or the call on all day long, depending on which way the market was moving. But as long as the VIX was low, the implied volatility of what was under it, he could easily overcome day trading with very, very cheap insurance to the downside. So if anything did blow up in his face, he always had, the most he was ever going to lose was like 50 cents or 75 cents. And it seemed like an awful lot of work to me, but he was a machine doing it. And I will give him I'll give him a call tonight. I haven't talked to him for probably 6 months, so we'll talk again. He's went off and became started his own hedge fund to trade the Asian markets in 2008 overnight. So he was always working at night, no longer in the day anymore, and went off to do that. Anyway, we were talking about Etsy before we left for the break. This company, kind of like a lot of hippie types out here making their crafts and stuff. Maybe these folks have finally put it together and got some management that is all into hacky sack and everything. 3 very nice candles out here with volume over the last 3 days. And of course, you don't want to buy this, but you do want to look at the retrace on this back to maybe $10.50, $11, maybe even $11.50. You have to see how this thing comes back, if it does at all. But you got 3 nice big candles out here. That's probably, this 1457 is probably the high. If you're long this thing, I would have been out at 14 in a heartbeat on this. But a nice kind of turnaround. Some of these failed IPOs, if we go back and look at this thing on a longer term basis, this thing did nothing but go down from the day that it went public. So I don't know if there's a whole lot you can say about it, but everybody that makes the crafts on this website started complaining as soon as this company went public. Nothing like people that want to make money, but they don't want to make money. And that was the real tough thing. You kind of go on there and these people all have crafts and they make something for you that's specialized and they mail it to you. Kind of an eBay of crafts. Very interesting idea. But nice pattern here the last 3 days. I like this. I'll put an alarm on here at about $11.50. If this thing comes down with light volume, that's exactly what you want to see. Big volume, big candles, and a pullback on light volume. So this thing may be ready in September or October if we can get a pullback in this to take a look at it. So a gem among the rubble out here today. What else do we have? Diamondback Energy, Etsy, Glue, no big deal out there. Hanes Brands off about 2%, no big deal there, but we'll see what's going on. I know Andy talks a lot about cotton, and Hanes seems to be nothing but cotton. Down, volume picked up today. Guess you don't have this far to go back to the February 8th low, $23.25, 8.4 million shares on this one. So you got the volume in here. You think this thing's got to drift down to this gap. This gap goes back to, what is that? The 25th of what is that? June, or is that July? No, that's June 25th of 2014. That gap up was on almost 10 million shares. So we're kind of coming back down to that gap. Little lighter test back on February 8th, bounced, come back, and we'll see what the energy is like. But this thing certainly looks like 2250 out here. And you'd think Hanes would be doing well. Maybe it's looking at higher cotton prices. What else could be advertising and cotton? What else could Hanes Brands be doing with their money? ICE is up on a nice move today. ICE Baby, Intercontinental Exchange, up almost 5%. Nice spike out here. Another one of these that you got to watch very closely, that it holds its high. Volume is not overwhelming today. The February 1st high that this is cracking through had 1.5 million shares at 268.89. You've given more than half of the juice back already on this candle. And these are the ones that you really have to watch out for, because they can turn on you fairly quick if the market goes south. Pizza, ZZA, up about 5%. That's what we were saying about earlier about earnings after the bell and that particular company, which was what? I can't remember. Oh, Papa Murphy's. But Domino's, Papa John's, all these companies seem to be doing well. This Papa John's has not broken its previous high out here, July 13th of 2015, a year ago. Certainly has the volume, needs in about another 30 cents. So we're probably going to get the answer on that one maybe tomorrow or the next day. So keep an eye out on that. When we come back, we'll look at and talk about Quarvo, the company that supplies Apple, Rigel Pharmaceuticals, Scott's Miracle Grow. We'll talk about that one too.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
After the bell last night, Quarvo, QRVO, which is the old RF micro devices and Broadcom chip company that merged for cell phone sales. And it's been doing pretty good, had a nice move up. They basically said that the next 6 months are going to be really tough, that why they have contracts that do not allow them to say the word Apple. It certainly looks like that sales, or at least Apple, is not ordering a lot of parts for the iPhone 6 over the next 6 months. Didn't seem to bother Apple that much when I was looking earlier today. See if we still have out here. It was up $1. Of course, it's off just under 108 just a couple of days ago. I don't know if that already is kind of coming into it or everybody's just looking past that into the iPhone 7. Also, of course, they can't say that they've got iPhone 7 business, but they were basically saying that the next 2 quarters are going to be challenging. And of course, nobody on Wall Street wants to hear that. I read the entire transcript of the earnings call. If you ever want to actually read the earnings calls, a lot of times Seeking Alpha has it. And you can fish that site and find the entire earnings call if you don't want to listen to it. Sometimes you can gain a lot depending on who's doing it by the infliction and the energy that people put in. I try to listen to the audio ones when I can, or if I know the CEO and the CFO and whether or not they're happy or kind of sad, hat in hand. I didn't do this on this. I don't know them that well, and they seem to change a lot from the CEO to the CFO on who does it. So I didn't spend the time with it last night to listen. But just about everything you want to know. They are looking it down. There's not a whole lot to drive this higher. It did gap down with fairly significant volume. They are telling you the next 6 months will be challenging. And I don't think, I'm wondering if this is not something that won't eventually kind of wander into what Apple is doing in the next few days. A lot of times Apple just does not react all of a sudden to news out here. The Apple people kind of divorced a lot from that. It seems to take a few days to get a little bit of an effect. What else do we have out here? Oh, I need to go back to my other page out here. Regal Entertainment Group, RGC. We've been talking about how bad movies have been this summer, and I think we're now down some 25% on the year for this summer. Actually, I think they start on the 1st of May. We were down about 22%. We're now down about 25% for ticket sales across the summer because most of the movies at best have been average and at worst have been real stinkers. But RGC down today, huge volume. Looking ahead at what I see coming for movies, doesn't seem like there's going to be a big change. Everybody in Hollywood keeps talking a great deal about making an experience for for people to go and not just stream their movies at home on their high def. Man, I'm looking forward to the movies, and I just don't see anything out there that really snags the imagination. Maybe there'll be something in the fall, but this summer doesn't look like there's much left to save the season. Like Jaws, remember they were trying to save the season for the bathers, for the people coming down to Amity. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel. Remember to sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and shiny.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.